Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a dog owner or just someone who loves dogs, you've probably noticed some pretty strange behaviors in your furry friend that leave you scratching your head. From sniffing before they poop to carrying sticks on walks, our dogs can sometimes seem like they've got their own quirky little world going on. But what if I told you that these behaviors aren't as weird as they seem? In fact, they're actually rooted in their natural instincts and have some pretty logical explanations. In today's video, we're going to break down 9 weird dog behaviors and explain the science and instincts behind each one. Understanding these behaviors can not only help you connect with your dog on a deeper level, but also ensure that you're meeting their needs in the best way possible. Whether it's how they communicate with other dogs or why they dig in their beds, you'll get some cool insights into your dog's mind that might just surprise you. But before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video packed with helpful tips and fun facts about your four-legged best friend. If you love dogs as much as we do, you're definitely going to want to stick around for more content like this. All right, let's dive in and unravel these fascinating dog behaviors. 1. Sniffing before pooping. Have you ever noticed your dog sniffing around in circles before they finally do their business? It's more than just a quirky habit. They're actually doing some important detective work. Dogs use their sense of smell to carefully choose where to relieve themselves, and it's all about communication. When your dog sniffs the ground, they're reading messages left by other animals, messages about who's been there, what they've been doing, and even what their sex is. Yes, that's right. Your dog can tell if there's a male or female dog nearby just by sniffing the area. But it's not just about finding out who's around. Dogs are naturally cautious creatures, and they're always on the lookout for safety. The sniffing process helps them identify a spot that's safe for them to go, often near where other dogs have already marked their territory. This allows them to avoid a place that might be risky or where they could feel vulnerable while doing their business. You'll also notice that dogs have surface preferences. Many prefer dirt or grass over concrete, which feels less secure to them. So next time you see your dog sniffing around, remember, they're just making sure they pick the perfect potty spot. 2. Digging/scratching beds. If your dog has ever scratched or dug at their bed, or even the floor, you might have wondered what's going on. Well, this behavior is deeply rooted in their wild ancestors, and it serves a couple of important purposes. Wild wolves would scratch at the ground, dirt, and leaves to create a comfortable nest or den. That instinct has stuck with dogs over generations. And when your pup scratches at their bed or bedding, they're trying to create the coziest and safest space for themselves. But that's not all. Dogs also use this behavior to mark their territory. Hidden in the pads of their paws are scent glands, and when they scratch, they're leaving behind their unique scent on the bed or the surface they're scratching. This makes the space feel like theirs, signaling to other dogs that this is their territory. You may notice that scratching becomes more frequent if you've introduced a new pet into the household or even bought a new bed. It's their way of saying, "This is mine." For female dogs that are pregnant, this scratching behavior intensifies. It's an instinctive nesting behavior, as they're preparing a safe space for their future puppies. 3. Carrying sticks. Have you ever gone for a walk with your dog, only to have them pick up a stick and proudly carry it the whole way? It may seem odd, but this behavior is actually tied to your dog's ancient instincts. Dogs, like their wild ancestors, have an inherent need to retrieve objects, a trait that goes back to their hunting days. Wolves and other wild canines would catch prey and bring it back to their pack. Over thousands of years, this instinct has been bred into domestic dogs. And now, even without a need for hunting, dogs still carry things in their mouths. So why a stick? For one, it's easily available and serves as a great stand-in for a toy. Carrying a stick allows dogs to fulfill their natural retrieving instinct, giving them a sense of purpose. But there's more to it. Carrying and chewing sticks also helps relieve teething pain, especially for puppies. The act of chewing can soothe their sore gums and offer them comfort. It's kind of like a doggy stress reliever. So next time you catch your dog happily trotting around with a stick in tow, remember, it's not just play, it's part of who they are. 4. Submissive/excitement urination. Ever walked in the door after a long day and been greeted by your dog, who then proceeds to pee a little bit? It might seem strange, But this behavior is actually a natural and involuntary response from your dog, driven by excitement or submission. You know the feeling when you're so happy or overwhelmed with emotion that you just can't contain it. Well, for some dogs, that excitement translates into a little bit of urination. It's their way of saying, "I'm so happy to see you," without being able to hold it in. On the flip side, this can also happen when your dog feels submissive or anxious. In the wild, dogs use body language to communicate their role in the pack. By urinating, they signal to more dominant animals that they're not a threat and that they accept their position. It's their way of saying, "I'm not trying to challenge you," whether it's you or another dog. But don't worry, this is completely normal, especially in young dogs or those that are highly excitable. If your dog experiences excitement urination regularly, try greeting them calmly to prevent the over-the-top excitement that triggers the behavior. 5. Paw licking. Is your dog constantly licking their paws? While it's totally normal for them to groom themselves now and then, excessive paw licking could be a sign that something else is going on. If you've noticed your dog focusing on just one paw or licking incessantly, it's worth investigating. Your dog might be trying to tell you something, like they've hurt themselves. If they've stepped on something sharp or if their paw is injured, they could be licking it for comfort or to soothe the pain. But there's more to it than just injuries. Paw licking can also be triggered by allergies, whether they're allergic to food or something in the environment like pollen or dust. Another cause could be parasites, like fleas or mites, which can cause irritation that leads to constant licking. Sometimes, dogs also lick their paws as a way of relieving stress or anxiety. If the licking seems to be getting out of control, be sure to check their paws for any cuts, swelling, or signs of infection. Taking the time to investigate will help keep your dog comfortable and healthy. 6. Shaking toys. If your dog loves to grab their toy and give it a good shake, you might think they're just playing, but this behavior actually has some ancient roots. When dogs and their wild ancestors grab on a prey, they instinctively shake it back and forth to kill it quickly. This mimics the predatory behavior that helped wolves survive in the wild. Even though our dogs aren't hunting for their meals anymore, this instinct hasn't gone away. Today, dogs still shake their toys because it triggers that primal need to subdue the object. It's also just plain fun for them. The shaking motion gives them a sense of satisfaction and excitement, kind of like reliving their wild heritage in a playful way. However, not all toy shaking is about playing or hunting. If your dog is left alone for long periods or is experiencing boredom or anxiety, they may shake their toys out of frustration. If your dog seems to shake toys more often when you're away, this could be a sign of separation anxiety. Make sure to give your pup plenty of exercise and mental stimulation to keep them entertained and happy. 7. Sighing. Have you ever noticed your dog letting out a big, dramatic sigh and wondered what it meant? Believe it or not, sighing is a very telling behavior for dogs, and it's actually quite common. Most of the time, when your dog sighs, it's a signal of contentment. After a good play session, a hearty meal, or a cozy nap, dogs often sigh to indicate they're feeling relaxed and satisfied. It's their way of showing you they're in a comfortable state, just letting go of any stress or tension. But sighing can also have another meaning. If your dog is feeling disappointed or frustrated, you might hear that same sigh when they've made multiple unsuccessful attempts at getting something they want, like when they beg for food and don't get it. It's as if they're saying, "Okay, I give up." This behavior is a bit like the human equivalent of a dramatic ugh. So next time your dog sighs, pay attention to the context. Whether they're happily curled up after dinner or bummed out after an unsuccessful begging session, their sigh is their way of telling you how they're feeling. 8. Coprophagia, eating poop. Now, let's talk about one of the most unusual dog behaviors, eating poop. As gross as it may sound, this behavior has a few explanations. For starters, it can be instinctive. Mothers, especially, will often eat their puppy's feces as a way of keeping their den clean and free from disease. It's a survival tactic passed down through generations. But for adult dogs, this behavior can also serve a nutritional purpose. While we humans might see poop as something gross, dogs see it as a source of undigested nutrients and healthy gut bacteria. You may have noticed that dogs seem particularly drawn to the poop of herbivores, like horse manure or goose droppings. Why? because herbivore feces are full of enzymes and partially digested protein, which can be beneficial for their digestive system. However, if your dog is eating their own or another dog's poop, it could also be a sign of dietary deficiencies or stress. Dogs that are anxious or experiencing environmental changes may start eating poop as a coping mechanism. So, while coprophagia may seem gross, there are often natural and environmental reasons behind it. Still, if it becomes a frequent habit, it's always worth checking in with a vet to rule out any health issues. 9. Running away. Has your dog ever dashed out the door or escaped from the yard, leaving you frantically chasing after them? While it's definitely stressful for us, dogs have some natural reasons for running away. One of the biggest factors is curiosity. Dogs are incredibly inquisitive, and when they're left unsupervised, they may feel the urge to go on their own little adventure. Whether it's sniffing around the neighborhood or simply exploring new surroundings, your dog might take off looking for something interesting to do. Another major reason dogs run away is tied to reproductive instincts. This is particularly true for intact male dogs who are driven to search for a mate. The scent of a female in heat can overwhelm them, and they'll take off in search of that potential mate, sometimes even escaping fences or gates to get to her. Additionally, some dogs will run away due to fear. Loud noises like fireworks or thunderstorms can send even the most well-behaved dog into a panic. In these cases, running away is often a survival instinct. Dogs will flee to seek safety and shelter from what they perceive as a threat. So, next time your dog makes a break for it, consider their natural instincts and try to prevent the situation by providing a safe and secure environment. And there you have it, 9 weird dog behaviors explained. As we've seen, each quirky habit your dog has is often tied to their instincts, biology, or even just their desire for comfort. Whether it's sniffing before they poop or carrying around sticks, there's always a fascinating reason behind these behaviors. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into your dog's world, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and share this video with other dog lovers who might find it interesting. And of course, if you want to learn more about your furry friend's behavior, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our latest videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Stay positive.